Hello and welcome to Ultimate Fitness Global and another training video. Now today we're going to talk about training the abdominals, which is one of my favorite body parts to train. Just a little disclaimer though, before we go into these exercises, it is worth telling you that without being in a calorie deficit for a sustained period of time, so you lower your body fat and you alter your body composition, you're never going to see your abs. So whilst these exercises that we're going to run through today are my favorite ones for training the abs, you're never going to see them unless you address things in the kitchen. So exercise number one, the ab wheel. Now the ab wheel is one of my favorite pieces of equipment. Recently, I've been hopping from place to place. I've spent an awful lot of time abroad traveling, and I've not really had the luxury of a gym to hand. So the two things that I always take are my ab wheel, which packs down to nearly nothing. You just take an end out of it, take the discs out, flat packs to nearly nothing. The other thing is a TRX cable, which we'll talk about in other videos. But if you are traveling and you want to take a portable gym that takes nearly no space, ab wheel, TRX, you can train your whole body perfectly. Now, the ab wheel isn't very easy. It's quite an advanced movement, especially to do properly. So I'm going to show you different stages in using the ab wheel. I'll show you different ways of utilizing it from beginner to intermediate to advanced, okay? So we're going to start off actually the other end of the spectrum, advanced. This is what you're aiming to be able to do. So you're going down into this position and you don't want the ab wheel all the way back to your knees. You want it probably about 2 feet away from your body. At that point, stick your pelvis down into this position. When you're doing the ab wheel, you don't want your bum up in the air. You want your hips down like this, so your abs are engaged. You're then going to roll out all the way down, so you're completely flat. And then you're going to come back to that 2 feet away from your knee position. So what you don't want to be doing is this, because from here to here, all the tension in your abs actually goes off, and you want to keep the tension on the entire time. So at this point, my abs are already engaged. Just to hold this position, eventually you would fatigue because your abs are tensed all the time in that position. It's a little bit like a plank. So from there, you're going to go out, touch, back, touch, and back. I go for about 4 sets of 15 reps with that. So now going to the intermediate level, this is if you haven't mastered the advanced version yet, you're going to start with a band. So I've looped a band over the top here. Then I'm going to go through the band, like so. And then I'm just going to perform that exact same movement again, only this time, as I roll out, I get lower and lower. The band gives me a little assistance on the way back up. So you can use different bands for this. Obviously, the thicker the band, the more assistance you're going to get. So you can work your way down the bands as you get strong with that movement. And now for the beginner, we're going to use the band again, but we're also going to use a distance marker. So what can happen sometimes when you're not used to this movement, you get to what I call the point of no return. So you've gone too far. Your abdominals and your core isn't strong enough to hold you there, so you just simply collapse to the floor. So if you give yourself a marker, when you roll out, you stop, and as you get more advanced, you simply push the marker further back. And obviously, the further you go out, the more difficult the movement is. So that's the ab roller, one of my personal favorites. Now, the thing I like about the ab roller is that you can take it anywhere and all you need is a floor. Now, the ab slings are a specific piece of equipment that you need a gym for, really. So you need something to hook them on like eyelets, but the ab slings are an absolutely incredible piece of equipment for training your lower abdominals. You can do it in loads of different ways. I'm going to show you my favorite 2 ways. So the first one is a Plyo ab crunch. It takes a little bit of coordination and a bit of momentum. And for this one, you're going for high repetitions, okay? So you start a little bit like when you were on a swing, when you were a kid, and you create a pendulum. So as you go backwards, your feet come forwards. Then you build up that pendulum. It looks easy, but when you give this a try and you go for maybe 20, 25 reps, and your knees are coming right up to your elbows, your lower abdominals and your hip flexors get very, very fatigued. So with this one, the key is first, very slowly practicing that momentum. Let me show you again. So I'm just gonna lift myself up, lift, and then I create pendulum. As I go back, my feet kick forward, exactly like when you're on a swing in a park. But now all the momentum is getting created by your legs and your lower abdominals. So that's how you start it. Then you build that pendulum bigger and bigger. That's the Plyo abdominal crunch using ab slings. This one's a lot more advanced, requires a lot more control and a lot more core strength. This is toes to bar using ab slings. So we go through again, exact same thing, only this time there's no pendulum, there's no momentum whatsoever. So from here, I'm just gonna come up, touch, control, no swing. Touch, straighten. Touch, straighten. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. For that one, maybe 4 sets of 10. It's very, very difficult. You can start with just knees to elbows. Again, no momentum. So from here, touch, stretch, touch, stretch. Now, if I only bring my feet up to here, that's hip flexors. So from there, from this bit, I need the extra crunch and the extra roll to really engage those lower abdominals. Number 4, another one for when you're in a gym. So you can't really replicate this unless you're in a gym. You could use bands, but it's a little bit dangerous with the movement that you're doing. If the band were to snap, you would smash your face in on the floor, which you definitely don't want to do. So cables, use a rope, and then it goes right over the top of your shoulders. Don't pull it around your neck, you'll garrote yourself. So over the top of your shoulders, I'm gonna step back for a little bit of extra leverage, and then you crunch. Right down, look through your legs, come up slowly, all the way until the weight stack touches. Right down, crunch, look through your legs, control the negative, crunch, control. Rep range on that, between 10, 15 reps, 4 sets. Number 5, remember I didn't say these were the easiest exercises, I said they were my favorite exercises. So all of these movements, there's a process, there's a build up to get to where you want to be with them. So you start off with less advanced movements, which I've showed you, and your aim is to get to these movements over time as your core gets stronger. So this one was made famous in the Christian Bale 2000 film American Psycho. So I call these American Psychos. Just have a little look at that little box that my esteemed colleague has put up there. So this is what you do. Get a little mat, and then even this bit is difficult to achieve. Just balance on your bum like this. So feet are off, I'm perched on my bum, and that's like it's like a seated plank almost. So my abs are engaged here without me really doing anything. From there I could do twists like this, I could do toe wiggles, there's all different kinds of things you can do from that position. But this advanced movement looks like this. So as I lie down, I stretch out fully. As I sit up, I crunch up, down and up. And then you build the speed. Rep range for this, 20 to 30 reps, 4 sets. You're getting the whole of the trunk, even your spina erector at the back. Very difficult movement. Give it a go. To begin, you could start off with here. Or the other point, you could put your hands underneath your back to make it a bit easier, but unassisted. When you give that a go now, you'll see how difficult that is. So there we have it, guys. They are my 5 top abdominal training exercises, and I train abs every single time I train for 4 to 5 sets. If you like this video, please click that subscribe button. It really does help us out, and we look forward to seeing you very, very soon in our next video. Just a quick apology that we've not uploaded for a while. I've been out the country for just over 5 weeks, so we do hope to bring you at least 1 video every week from now on. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon.